Hello, everyone. Of course, I am Stoner Jesus. She is Shelly Martinez. We are the co-hosts of Smokeout with Shelly and SJ on OnlyFans and on Patreon/Shelly SJ Smokeout for both of those. Today, tonight, depending on what time zone you're in, Saturday night, December 19th, 2020, we were planning on doing a screening on my show, the Stoner Jesus Show, of Home Alone, Christmas classic, holiday classic, a movie that Shelly has not seen. It was a really funny, goofy movie, something we could chill with, make fun of, have fun with, all of that. But as many of you know, who watch my show on a regular basis, I have a broadcasting software called vMix. And the broadcasting software, it's great. It does a lot of graphics. The picture is amazing and does all kinds of different things at once and together, but is also very sensitive. So sometimes calls through that broadcasting software just won't work. It's happened many times over the years. I've been using it now 3 or 4 years, I think. And for all that it can do and all that it brings to the table, the drawback is if everything's just not perfect, if there's maybe a glitch somewhere between, in this case, me and California, then nothing works. The person on the other end, in this case, Shelly, just gets a blue screen and it's pretty much kaput. I've had the same thing happen. I do a show with someone who lives 15 miles from here, the High Noon Hemp Show, every Wednesday afternoon. And sometimes the same thing happens there. We had all kinds of issues, especially in the last couple of months. And it's disappointing and it sucks. But Shelly had the idea of jumping on Zoom, which of course proves that we can connect just fine. It's a vMix problem, not a connection problem. Jump on Zoom so you can see my cool accessories that I had already for what we were doing. Got the bong filled. To express to everyone our disappointment in not being able to do it. But we do have a holiday special party coming up on our next episode of Smokeout. So you want to check that out. Again, now on Patreon, patreon.com/Shelly SJ Smokeout, same at OnlyFans.com. So Shelly, it's burn one.
Yes, let's do
Apology to
it.
everyone. But as you know, as I've pointed out many times before on my show, the technology issues are just, for me to be able to produce pretty much a full-fledged television show from my house with someone across the country or wherever, and then stream that simultaneously and record it simultaneously. It's an amazing technology, and sometimes it just does not work. And that's the sad fact.
You know what I think? I think the universe knew that I was going to hate Home Alone.
Maybe.
So there you have it.
I feel bad for Macaulay Culkin. I'm sure he's tuned in right now. He's like, hey, where's my movie? I'm sorry, Macaulay.
Hey, where's the DM, Macaulay?
I did what I could.
DM'd.
That's
you
right.
Didn't DM.
You should come on this show. I'll tell you what, Macaulay Culkin, you want to come on this show and we'll do a live table read of Home Alone. I'm down for it.
I'm down for it too.
I can kind of do voices, somewhat.
I think that would be amazing. You should do that, Macaulay. DM Stoner Jesus.
That's right.
Here's the thing. While we were trying to figure out the whole situation, I already had a glass of champagne. This is number 2. So I said I was going to be drinking champagne. So that's the thing. That's why I have been looking forward to this all week. Even though I knew I was going to hate the movie, I thought that it was going to be great to like something cool and fun to do. Many years ago, I did a kind of a similar thing, but on Periscope, and it was different because here on what you're doing is people could see the screens and you have control. I did it on Periscope where literally my phone was just on my TV, and then when me and my sister would talk, it was fun. But we did the movie Coco, and it was so awesome because I cried my eyes out, and it was a lot of fun. And I always wanted to do another movie night, but I just never really got around to it. So this was like, oh my gosh, like, here I am finally going back to doing like the movie thing because I don't know. I think it's kind of cool to be able to connect with people and like, especially with cult classics like a Home Alone or whatever, and watch movies together and just goof off and say our little, it's like if you're sitting on the couch, you know what I mean? And like your buddy meaning you and me, like the person at home, they're like, oh, look, haha, Shelly said that. Stoner Jesus said that. Ha ha ha. I said this. It's such a cool thing. And I was so on board, even though I knew I was going to hate the movie. But all week I was like, I'm going to have that champagne. Earlier when I walked my dogs, I walked them to the liquor store so I can get my champagne. It's a whole thing. And so it's okay. it wasn't meant, or else it would have happened. But that's why I was like, let's at least do something, because I
Yeah.
feel like we already said that we're going to do this. So like, I don't want to be like, oh, we'll just try again. Nah, that's a little bit too defeated for me. We got to give
Yeah.
the fans something. We got to give them something.
Yeah. I spent like an hour working on the graphics. It was going to be cool. It was going to have the screen was going to be the movie. And then in one little corner, like in this corner over here, would have been Shelly. And this corner over here would have been me. And I would have a little graphic to go promoting the Smokeout show that would go in between us. And it was just a whole thing. I had it all ready to go.
I'm still down to do it, even
Yeah.
if it's after Christmas
Yeah.
and like whatever, because who cares? I still haven't seen Home Alone.
Mhm.
It really did create the buzz, like we talked about on our last Smokeout session, how people
Yeah.
were all upset with me because I hadn't seen it before. So I still think, even if Christmas come and go, I think we should still do it.
Yeah. We'll definitely give it a shot. See if we can connect. Because I have
And
the
what's really
whole template saved, so I can just pull it back up anytime.
And what's really sad for me is I remember the first time when we did anything together was for your show.
Mm-hmm.
And the same thing kind of happened, but I tried doing it on my phone. So then I was like, oh, maybe I had to do my laptop. And then there was no problem. So
Yeah.
that's why I was like, okay, this time just use the laptop, like fine. And so I don't know. I just had to bitch one more time about like, because we gave like, I was really trying hard, and now hearing you spent all this time doing like the graphics and everything, like, time is precious, and you like, it's like a gut wrenching feeling when something like that happens. It's like,
Yeah. It's definitely the first time that a whole thing has been derailed because of tech issues. But again, the technology is a double-edged sword. So who would
yeah,
have thought? And I remember 20 years ago trying to get MP3s, just like a 2-minute MP3 up onto a website. It was impossible. And now I'm able to do this, even though it doesn't work sometimes. Most of the time it works
yeah.
flawlessly, and it's incredible. Like I said, I'm just some dude in a room. I got a couple computers, a mixer, a microphone. I can do a whole TV show. I can do graphics. If I had other cameras, I could do other camera angles. It's just a whole thing. Like I said, sometimes it's just very sensitive. It just doesn't want to work.
Aren't we all? Sometimes
Yes.
we all are just a little too sensitive and just don't want to work, and that's just life, and that's what's up.
Difference is when I don't want to, I still do it. VMix, when it doesn't want to, it just doesn't do it.
And not
It's like,
everyone's that way, Stoner
that's
Jesus.
right.
Not everyone is the type to say they don't want to do it and they still do it. They don't do it,
That's right. I used to be like that. I was like that for a long time. It's like, I just don't want to do that. Now it's just second nature to me. Me wanting to do it just really doesn't come into the equation. If it needs to be done, I have to do it.
You know what? It's so interesting you say that, because I'm like both. And it really
Mm,
pisses me off about myself, because I love when I'm that Shelly that is exactly what you just said. Like, even though you don't
mm,
want to do it, you do it, And when there's times where I just go, forget it, I give up, or I'm
mm.
just not going to do it, whatever. And it's with that attitude too. I'm just not going to do it, whatever. And whenever I do that, I'm not the better version of myself. And
Yeah,
I hate when I get stuck in that, because once I get stuck in that, it's hard to like reprogram myself to go back to what's already my instinct, which is to still do it. Like I remember back in the day, one of my friends was like, Shelly, you're one of the most, what did he say? What did he use? He goes, you're one of the most disciplined people I
mm,
know. And at that time I really was, but I remember being very complimented by it, because I was like, dude, it's hard for me to do that sometimes. So that's such a cool
yeah,
compliment. That's what I'm like known for. People like know me because they know me now in this time of my life as that person, when I was always haven't been that. And now it's like I've been trying to get back to, because I've been very defeated these last few months. We've talked about before,
yeah,
censorship online. A
mm,
lot of my hard work, kind of like what we're talking about today, with the glitch that happened, that just getting erased has made me just be like, screw it. But it's funny because the reason why I think my whole vibe was let's just do something is I'm tired of being that person. I don't
yeah,
want to fall back into that bad habit, because I'm the type, unfortunately, when I'm in it and I'm in my vibe and my groove, I'm like unstoppable. But once I get lost in that, like, I'm just not going to do it. Ugh.
yeah.
It is so difficult to get back on track.
Hey, at the very least, this video is worth it for this. This is cool. Look at
Absolutely.
me.
1000%.
I'm festive.
1000%.
I also have a Santa hat that has little reindeer antlers on it. So
I almost wore reindeer antlers, but it didn't match my outfit. And I was going to change my outfit for it. But then I thought, okay, this is just the movie, even though it is Christmas. I really want to go with a bang at our Christmas party, and I really have something special for everyone. So you need to make this a teaser. If you are watching this and you are not a part of our community that we're building, you need to, because for the outfit alone I'm going to be wearing next week, you should definitely subscribe.
same with me. I might combine this with the Santa hat and the reindeer antlers, and it'll just be a whole thing. I'll start
You
a
know what
trend.
my Christmas wish is that you will come in lingerie. No
Maybe so.
pasties. No pasties. I don't want to see no pasties.
Literally, while we were sitting here, we were trying to figure out the connections and stuff. I'm always thinking constantly about stuff to do, ideas for shows, and what to do with our show and my show and all that. I was thinking the video that you sent me that I posted on Patreon. It's a sexy Shelly vaping video. If you want to go check it out, if you're on the Smokeout level on Patreon, it's a little bonus for everybody out there. I was thinking if you'll send me the music that you use for that, I can try to recreate that video.
Abso-freaking-lutely.
Like that's a little project that I want to work on. That'd be good.
Absolutely.
If that's not a viral video,
1000%.
then I don't know what to do.
I don't know what to tell you. I
I
don't
have
know what to
ideas.
tell you. You're boring. If people don't receive that, they're boring ass people. I'm just saying. Because that right there, you know what that is, Stoner Jesus? Quality.
That's right.
That's quality.
That's what I bring
right
to the
there.
table.
I know. I'm just the boobs of the operation. You bring that to the table. Quality.
Well, that was so funny about the Patreon things. The Patreon, the cover graphic, I tweeted out about it. They don't let you adjust it. You just put it on there, and whatever shows up, shows up. So it's your boobs, and next to the cartoon picture of Jesus, and it does have our website name, the Patreon link, or the URL. So that's cool. I thought maybe that's what people think the show is. I don't know. It's just Shelly boobs and a
It's the
cartoon.
truth. It's
That's
the
it. We smoke weed.
That's it. And you know what? People love it. And it's not for everybody. And I totally get that. You know, it's so interesting to me because there's been different times on my timeline for people who have followed me for many years that all of a sudden I get very cannabis posty.
Mm.
And then I kind of back off. And whenever I get cannabis related posty, I lose followers, and I did lose followers. But I'm okay with it because my following for months has been 66.6 on my
Yeah.
thing, and I don't like that. I don't like
I
that.
noticed that.
So I recently said at home, I said, I wish people would either follow me or unfollow me because I'd rather see 66.5 than to see that ugly number every single day. Like I use, as everyone knows, my Twitter as my promotion. So I'm on it every single day. And to see that, I don't like that. Some people are down with that, and that's fine. No judgment. I am not. I am not one of those people. And I don't look at that number as just a number either. So I don't mind that I lost that because anytime I've backed off of the cannabis stuff, it's always been because whatever I was trying to do with it, somebody screwed me over or showed me their true colors or something like that, to where I go, I just give up, whatever. So I'm fine with it. I am fine with it. And I
Seems
think it's
weird.
awesome.
That,
Isn't
like,
it?
I mean, the people they're either following you for the most part because they were a fan of yours or a character of yours in some incarnation in a wrestling promotion, or because they think you're hot. And I can't think of those two groups saying, "Oh, now there's cannabis, and I just can't do this anymore.
You
I'm
know
going
what
to
it
leave."
is? Because I do post a lot about spiritual stuff, and I also retweet a lot of that. So I wonder if some of those accounts, because a lot of them end up following me back, and I think that they unfortunately get kind of disappointed, and it's fine because you never know someone's story. Maybe them seeing me smoking or talking about it triggers something for them that's not a positive thing. Like you just never know. Like there's some people who unfortunately they can't just smoke cannabis because it triggers them to want to use cocaine or heroin because they have an issue. So if they're following me and then all of a sudden I keep triggering that, I don't want them to follow me because I do not want to be that trigger. I remember many years ago, I had a boyfriend and his mom was a recovering alcoholic. And growing up, I was always taught in the church that don't tempt people, like, you know, and I know that's silly to say because people say, oh, well, you're jack off material. Okay, fine, whatever. But okay, that's what are you going to do? That's just my path in life. That's what people choose to do. That's not my business. Not everybody does that. You know, I know, you know, you get me because you know by experience. I get it.
Right.
So I remember I went out to sushi with her when I was first meeting her, and I didn't want to order sake. And my boyfriend at the time did. And I wouldn't drink it. And I love sake. So he was like, what's wrong? Why won't you drink it? I was like, and I didn't want to make it a big deal because like, I didn't want to call her out. Right. And so whatever. And she was like, oh, you don't like sake? I was like, no, I love it. She was like, well, and I said, I pulled her aside, kept it classy. And I said, the way I grew up is, I know, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to judge you or anything like that, but I know you're in recovery. I just don't want to trigger that or be a part of that. And she gave me the biggest smile. And she was like, it's okay. Like, that's part of my recovery. It's okay to be around other people that can do it. And then that's when I was like, oh, but not everybody's that way, because in my family, there's somebody that's a recovering alcoholic. And it's like, we're not even allowed to say the words like booze or wine or beer around it. It's like, and it's like, well, maybe there's a reason. Maybe that person will get tempted like that. So if I tempt you guys in any way, even if you enjoy me and you jack off to me, but it's becoming a problem, unfollow me. I don't want to be a part of hurting anybody.
That's right.
You know, don't hurt yourself.
I had a guy named Joseph Fan. He was on my show a few years ago. Did a video interview with him. He wrote a book called, I forget the full title. Basically, the gist was stop masturbating and get on with your life because you're wasting so much time masturbating. And it was a lot of how he had this massive masturbation addiction, and it took up so much of his time. He became suicidal and the whole 9 yards. Really interesting book. I wish I remembered the title of it fully. Stop masturbating and something. It's the part that stands out.
It's a real thing, though. That's the thing. Like, we can make jokes about it, but it's not really funny because it's a thing, and I'm very aware of it, and it confuses people because of what I've done with most of my life now, you know, since I was like 18, I've been messing around with like taking sexy pictures. So it's like a big portion of my life I've been doing that. So people get really confused and like how I have these stance, but it's because just like if you're dealing with an alcoholic, just because this person's an alcoholic and they can't have just one drink, there's people over here that can, and they're fine with it. So it's like, so when it comes to even like sexual stuff, and even though I work in a very sex work kind of vibe, I'm very aware of it. And that's why like I'm fine with losing money if it's like hurting somebody like that. Like I had this one fan, and long story short, like I won't deal with him anymore because he didn't handle things right. But he has an issue. He has a problem. And it's like, you know what? Even though I felt like when I would chit chat with him, because I got real curious, as we've talked about on our show many times, you know, I'm very intrigued with people, especially if they have something very unique about them. So this guy, he had a pantyhose fetish. So he'd always order videos or pictures from me in pantyhose. So I was just really curious. I was like, so what's the deal with that? Like, do you mind if I ask? Like, what is it? What's the turn on for you with pantyhose? Well, it went from just pantyhose to he likes wearing pantyhose and thigh highs and stuff like that, and then feeling sexy. So then I asked him, I was like, well, does that mean you're bi or anything like that or whatever? Because he started talking about like being with another man while wearing pantyhose. And so like I got really deep with him because he was like, no, I'm not. That's just for the pantyhose thing. And it's like, oh, that's so interesting. It was so interesting. So when he did me dirty, I'm fine with it because it really exposed to me that he has a problem. And that even though my intent is like, I give him time of day. I chit chat with him because he buys my pictures, but it's like, I don't have to, but I was just like, I felt bad for the guy. You know what I mean? So when he did me dirty, I was like, good. Now I have a reason to never deal with him again because I don't want to be a part of that. And if he wants to go buy some other girls' photos, that's fine. I am fine with somebody else making that money because I'm now aware and I don't like it. So I don't want the money.
All right, there you go.
I know you would take it, but not me.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't care. So I'm getting my whole feet picture collection together. Post it up on Patreon. That's right. Yeah, those pantyhose. Right. I'll be rolling in the dough, as they say.
Absolutely.
As the kids say.
Absolutely.
All right. I do want to get this up on Patreon for free for people. Do one more rip. And then, again, another apology rip for No Home Alone. It's a shame. Macaulay,
Or is it?
I'm sorry. Say, get at me. Live table read. Get the whole thing together. We can do it for charity.
Make me believe in it. Make me believe in Home Alone, Macaulay. Oh, that bit me.
Thank you, Shelly. I know it's disappointing, but that is the world that we have chosen. The entertainment field.
It is all good in the hood. I can't wait for our little party next week. It'll be awesome.
Go subscribe. Onlyfans.com, patreon.com. Both are /Shelly SJ Smokeout. Memorize it. Subscribe. On Patreon, there's more options. You can get just audio podcast if you want, or just the video. Or like people on OnlyFans, if you want to participate in the Zoom recordings, you can do that as well. I'll send you the Zoom details and pop in, ask us questions, see me, give me a show my boobs, whatever.
Because we all know you just love to show them.
That's right.
And for free. For free, too.
Just waiting for people to ask. I just want to whip them out, for no reason. I'm classy.
That would be in vain.
Yes.
You have to make it count. Right. They have to ask.
And make sure, especially this day and age, I can't just whip out my boobs. Maybe, there may be some consent issues with the people around me. So I want to find out.
Because much like the V-Mix call, people are very sensitive.
That's right.
And we have to be aware of that.
I'll be dragged into court because I'm flashing my titties everywhere.
You got to, if you're going to be flashing, you got to know there's responsibilities that come with it.
That's right. Especially in public. There's car wrecks. There's all kinds of things going on.
All kinds of things. You cannot be responsible for that.
Right. Keep them wrapped up.
Keep here's the thing. At the end of the day, I know you want to whip them out. I know you want to give it away for free. But as your friend, your amiga, I want to tell you something. You are worth more. If you're going to show them, you need to charge them. They need to pay.
I'm more mature now. I'm not in my 20s anymore.
You're not in your 20s anymore. So you need to realize you can't be giving it away for free. That time has passed. Your value. You got to realize this about yourself and stop selling yourself short by giving yourself out for free.
That's right. Luckily,
I'm not trying to be a bitch.
When I have, all this going on up here, it's the total package.
It's the total package.
Flooding in.
You're flooding in. They're going to be in your DMs. They're going to be in your Cash App.
That's right.
And you know what? They're going to say they respect you for only showing it for what you're worth.
Be one of those people
99 cents, you can get a topless photo, and for $1, penny more, video of Stoner Jesus topless.
Send me change. We get a bunch of change together. I'm going to dump it all out of my bed. I'm going to lay in it for my Instagram pictures.
Because you know why we are in a coin shortage, as they say.
That's right.
So to have those coins, oh my
Very
gosh.
valuable.
There's a whole phrase, I got my coin. You will have your bed of coins. Don't give up that dream.
That's right. Go follow me on Instagram. It's coming soon. Thank you, Shelly.
All right, I'll see you soon.
See you next week for the big holiday special.
Adios.
Peace.